Today is cool and cloudy, but Thursday Workday was bright and sunny and mostly taken up with tomato maintenance. Now, the more plants you have, the more maintenance, but the hope is you have a great harvest at the end of the season and it all balances out and it's all worth it. So check that out. Okay, here is what I have to contend with. This is one of my brand new, very strong looking tomato plants, and upon inspection, all the lower leaves are covered in mildew. I haven't even planted this out yet. So this whole stem is covered with mildew. Okay, look at the size of this. All right, let's save that and put it back in the hole. We're putting one of my new tomato plants, it already was covered in mildew, but we're gonna put it in the sunniest spot in the yard and see what happens. These are non-native oleander aphids, which you often see on milkweed. They're orange. It's virtually impossible not to have these on your milkweed. I check the leaves to see if there are any eggs, and if I don't see any monarch eggs, then I just clip it and toss it. That's a big one. All right, that's gotta go. Hey, don't give it to me. This plant, which came with the property, keeps growing and growing and growing, and so Eric is chopping a lot of that back and getting it under control.
Beauty.
Yeah, now somebody could take that and plant it and it would regrow, even though you've chopped off almost all the roots. At some point it just becomes all about tomato maintenance, and even though I love every one of my plants, at some point you have to say, I have one day to garden with a bad arm when Eric is here, and you know, we have a lot of other plants that need tending to, so I think we'll take the vine too, because, oh gosh.
Everything.
These are the kind of aphids you see on nasturtium. They're black, dark gray. Next project, I'm going to thin out the celery. All right, that's all I'm going to do today. Obviously, I need about 1 or 2 plants total in this whole pot, but this just looks like a great addition to salad. So I was cutting back the milkweed because it's covered in aphids, and we found 2 caterpillars, 2 monarch caterpillars. Now, if you can stand to leave the aphids, eventually there will be some beneficial insects that will come and eat them. So I'm going to move these 2 caterpillars to some other milkweed. This chard is ready to cut and eat, and I'm going to move it out of this spot, bring in one of my goji berries and plant it in the ground here. My desert fig just exploded in the last week, and it's got loads of leaves and a dozen figs on it. At least a dozen. Okay, so Eric has made a hole, and we're going to try to plant the goji berries in this hole. So these are the goji berries we're going to try to get into the ground. So after much deliberation, we decided to just plant one of the goji berries in the ground. It's just not enough space. The one in the back would be have restricted light. It's not fair. You want to put the light back where it was? Okay. Is that stake doing anything back there? What is that stake doing? Is it yeah, take it out.
Clean it up.
Yep, clean it up. That's finished for now. Change of plans. I decided to take out the aronia berry because it's never done anything since I planted it there. I'm going to put the goji berry right beside this other one and it'll fill out that space nicely. So it's full and that's wet?
It's wet.
It looked dry. Huh.
No, it's wet.
Huh.
Don't okay. You need to put it in the shade for beginning. For 1 week.
Okay, so that looks good. I've got one aronia berry still here. It's budding out. And then I've got the 2 goji berries in front. And we moved one aronia berry to the parkway. So now I'm happy. The raccoons were back and they dug up this entire row where I had the Texas rose garlic, which did not do well. So I'm gonna dig up this garlic and then we're gonna repair the wood chips. It's not huge, but that's for sure.
The color I like.
The color is beautiful, yeah. I am going to plant some of these basil seedlings in where the garlic was because basil is a great companion plant with tomatoes as well as borage, and I already have plenty of that.
Yes, sure.
Can we separate it?
Yes.
Okay. Put one here. Put one here. I'm not putting any fertilizer with the basil plants because I think there's a lot of nutrition in this bed just from the wood chips and the worms and all the other stuff I've put in it. That looks good. Let's see how that does. And next week, if it does well, we will plant more. When I said I had plenty of borage, several major plants coming up in the garlic, several major plants where the carrots are supposed to be growing. The bees love it, so I think I'm going to just, I don't know what I'm going to do. This is what I've harvested from the Texas rose garlic. Not a ton. It struggled a bit, but it's definitely enough to plant back next year and use a few. And I have a lot more garlic. Okay, last thing I wanted to point out is this alyssum is from last year. Kind of pruned it back a little bit 2 weeks ago and it exploded. That's another great thing about being in a temperate zone. Some things don't die off. I'm going in right after this and film my first cooking video since I broke my arm. So we'll see how that goes. Now, you'll notice I'm holding my new late bloomer cup made by my favorite potter, Gabrielle Koza. I asked her for a red cup, of course, my favorite color, and this is the result. So you'll be seeing a lot of that. Thank you so much for watching this channel and liking my videos and sharing them, most importantly, with your friends. I really need it and I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next video.